Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host of L2 Productions, and you're watching I Watch You Watch. We're covering the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. This is season 6, part 2. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, share it, and leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's reunion. Y'all, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to cover, just to let you know. It was full of nonsense. We really got nowhere. It's just a bunch of women screaming and hollering. There wasn't any impact. There wasn't really anything coming out substantial to help to resolve anything or to get to a conclusion. So this may not even be 10 minutes. I'm just letting you know. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Really, Salt Lake City deserves Jersey treatment, meaning that they didn't get a reunion during their last season before they got put on pause. That's just my take. That's just how I feel about the whole situation. Anyway, we start off and we got this whole thing with Angie. Angie, you know, she took out that scroll saying that Lisa's been trolling her and all that good stuff. She said that she's been able to track back to where these tweets are coming from as far as being trolled. And Lisa's number is attached. If it is you, Lisa, that is one of the dumbest things in the whole wide world. At least get a burner. Why would you use your main phone to try to do that? But Lisa, in true fashion, said, "It's not mine, it's not mine, it's fake, it's fake. No, not my number, not my number." You got Angie saying stuff, you got Heather saying stuff, we got Brown saying stuff. It got so clustered. Andy was trying to calm them down. After trying many times, he sat there in silence and then he just got up. That was the only way for him to get these heifers to shut the up. Like, what are we doing here? So they're like, "Oh, sorry, Andy," even though y'all could have shut up a long time ago. You're saying it's a number. But now Angie said that she confronted Lisa and now she was able to change her number. That's not my number because I changed my number. Bored. Nothing resolved, whatever. There are tweets about Angie. Angie, this year, people are wising up to you and they're not sucking your booty crack because you are attached to Mary. Now you've attached yourself to Heather in a great way because y'all need to go against Lisa. I'm not crazy towards you. It's like, I like you, but then I really don't because you just really play a lot of games. And you think that you're going to hide behind someone instead of standing up for yourself. No, I can't do that. You're too busy trying to align with people. No, be Angie. Be the one that earned their spot for a snowflake. And I can't respect it. We move on to Mary. They speak about Mary's son. Mary says, look, she explains totally as to what she knows about her son and why he got arrested. He was doing some things. He was already had a restraining order against him, and he went back to his wife's house. And he thought that she needed saving. Mary says, I don't know why he thought that or whatnot, but he's in jail. And Andy asks, how do you feel about that? And she said, well, and I'm paraphrasing, it's the safest place that he can be. I'm glad that he's not on the street. At least I know he's in jail and he can't be doing all this other stuff. True. Because anything could have happened even in getting arrested. Like, I don't think that Robert Jr. was compliant with the police. And in this day and age, there's no point in trying to act a fool in front of the police. So, yeah, I get it. I understand where Mary's coming from. And a lot of people, I've heard other parents say that. At least he's controlled and confined, and he's not out here where he could lose his life. It's not the best solution, but hey. She says that she calls him daily, or they at least have talks daily. And most of the time, she's just ministering to him. And she says, God put you there. It's for a reason, and it's for you to learn something, and you need to do something about it. He's reading a lot and all that good stuff. That's all he wants to do. I think that is a distraction. Hopefully he faces what's really going on inside of him. They asked about Robert Sr. Has he visited him? Mary said no, but he's planning on doing it. He's in Las Vegas. So are Mary and Robert Sr. separated? I would love to know that. Because for a while, y'all was saying that they had a church in Indianapolis, at least on the internet and all that good stuff. But now he's in Las Vegas. but he plans on seeing him. Mary says that, I can't really go there. It's weird for her. She can't really see her son in there, but glad that he's in a safer place, in safer circumstances and all that good stuff. They get a little bit on the trailer for the documentary. The documentary was, they just talked about the trailer because the documentary had not come out before the reunion was taped. Y'all on social media are saying that, they're going light on her. There's nothing to report as of yet. They haven't seen the documentary as of yet. That doesn't make any sense. He talked about what was in that trailer, what he thought about them saying about you having a cult. Mary said, they've been saying that for years now. They said that about my grandmother. So it's not new tea. So people are trying to direct everything to this Robert Sr., but it's been going on for a very long time. My guess is this. When Grandma passed away, they had a huge following. What happens a lot is there are people, not because of the leader, it could be from the leader, that will worship the leader, and they don't know how to move on as far as still serving at a particular church without that particular leader, because that's who they are accustomed to. And given the circumstances as to what was going on with Mary and the grandfather, step-grandfather, it's like, I can see why people would leave with those type of two circumstances. Familiarity, and then this other stuff that just don't look right. The optics. Mary said, look, it's just more a pile of hurt. Andy asked, your sister's on there too. Like, yeah, we haven't been getting along. He talked about Mary's mother, about the passing and all that. Is there anything that you regretted or? And she said, no, we haven't had a relationship for over 20 years. She chose to be over there. What else do y'all want from her at this point? If they want to ask more questions during the season coming up, cool. Andy asked the question about the whole cult thing in documentary, because a lot of people are more standing up for Mary than they are believing this documentary. He asked Whitney, what she thought. She's like, I'm glad that she's getting all this praise. Now, for Whitney, I just think that you're kind of fake, because you live to try to get vindication. You and Lisa did what you did in season 2. And I'll leave that there. Somehow Mary and Lisa got into it. But it's about Lisa being self-absorbed. Mary was speaking up for Lisa. Somehow it got into, like, Lisa didn't even, I don't know what it was, but Mary ended up going in on Lisa a lot about Lisa only thinks about herself. About Lisa being a grudge holder. You only seem to have been able to not hold a grudge, even with this whole thing with Meredith. Now y'all friends, you and Meredith. One thing Lisa is really getting tired of people keep bringing up this whole Meredith thing. It is weird, because for me and Lisa, if you ever did that to me, we wouldn't be friends no more. You don't get to do that. However, those two worked it out. However, whatever. Maybe it's for the show, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not in their lives. I just know what I could tolerate, and no, we're not doing that. No. So, Mary went in talking about you hold on to things, you do this and you do that, you're holding on to season 2, you brought on Cameron, just dark. So I'm like, well, Mary, it sounds like you're holding on to season 2. I'm still holding on to season 2. And you're the only thing that brought me back to Salt Lake City. That's what it sounds like. So for anyone that thinks that I'm biased, which I am, but however, I can still call out, like, Mary, no. So it's a little weird, I'll say, how much Mary went on Lisa, but whatever. Lisa wasn't backing down and all the good stuff. We move on to the plane situation. Meredith is saying her side. She never talked to Brittany. She never did anything to Brittany. She never touched her. All her conversation was directed to Lisa about how she feels about Brittany. A bunch of questions as to, y'all are sitting up here, got all of this stuff against Meredith, How come nobody moved and switched seats? How come all that da 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 da? Y'all said all this stuff happened for 4 hours. And now you're saying that y'all keep switching up your stories. Oh, this was at the end of the flight. Da 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 da. Meredith explained. Well, Whitney was talking about how Meredith was engaging with her, screaming at her, da 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 da. Show her the TikTok. Show her the TikTok. Meredith explained it. Well, how you were, and I know how Whitney and Meredith will interact with each other. I'm sure Meredith was like demanding the TikTok. How Whitney responded back is more believable than what Whitney's trying to say, because she was like, look it up yourself. Da, 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 da. That's how Whitney talks. Basically with Heather, she's not friends with Meredith, even though you already said that. And Meredith already said that. But she said, I'm done protecting you, and you better buckle up. And then Lisa said, oh, is that a threat? Yes. Oh, I'm done protecting you. But I think a lot of people protect you, or you have nothing going on. Which one is it, Heather? Because you don't speak about your life. You speak about an old, nasty, ooh, I want to say some stuff. Mattress, moving a lantern, a lamp, a table, and saying, I'm done with these children and get out of my house. That's all you talk about. And Mormonism, and surviving it. Meredith and Brittany. What is the origin of their problem? Meredith ended up saying there was something that happened off camera. There's this nail tech guy that Meredith was a customer of that she found out was being anti-Semitic, meaning against Israel. He said that a bunch of Jews went to Israel, or fled Israel, or came to Israel. I forgot which one. Because they were a bunch of pedophiles. Brittany went to that nail tech guy for free service. The dude said, hey, I'm getting a bunch of bad reviews, because people, when that came out, there was a lot of bad reviews. He asked Brittany and Jared to write good reviews for him. And she said, no problem. Meredith contacted Brittany to say, hey, da 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 da, this is what's up, blah, 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 blah. And how it's offensive and how she feels about it coming from you. They talked about the seizure thing. Let me go there first. I forgot. She said, Brittany, I didn't say she had seizures. Beautiful bean footage, seizures. Then she said, well, you know, she was having seizures. And it's triggering because of my daughter. She was doing that before the daughter part. She was having seizures. So you wanted to make fun of people that have seizures and then say that because of how Meredith was responding to you, it reminded you how your daughter used to be. Y'all can have it full that Brittany's just this clean cut, oh, Disney princess and just a damsel in distress. No. That is a crazy heifer right there. And she puts on the role and all that good stuff. Was there something else about the plane situation? She said that she didn't move because at that point we were deep in something or whatnot, and they had to have their seatbelts on. But it's been 4 hours. Like, y'all are really crazy. And Heather said, you know, I really regret. It was really a shitty thing to do to not take this whole thing. Well, then shut up. Anyways, Meredith feels like Brittany is anti-Semitic, and that's where the whole situation came from. And Brittany halfway apologized. Halfway apologized? I cried in front of you, and I snuggled you. I don't think that Meredith would have let you touch her like that, but whatever. But you know, I'm not going to take this. I'm not. And then she walks off. Brittany got the courage to walk off because Andy walked off. She doesn't think on her own, unless it's when in her body and insecurities think about a man and opinion. But whatever. Dumb reunion. And let's just get part 3 done because I'm bored. Very bored. It's crazy. I appreciate everyone for coming. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought of it. And until the next one, peace.